Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about detachment, and I'm about to go to bed. I wasn't going to record this, but it's really on my mind because it's something that I wouldn't say that I struggle with, but it's just something that I'm finding to be really a major part of my journey that I didn't think that it would be. And I know that I've heard different people who have written books and instructors and teachers and all these things say that detachment is like the number one thing that you have to kind of wrestle with and tackle with when it comes to your journey with love and friendship and life and relationships and anything. And I've known this, but I think that when you learn information, there are two really important points. And the first point is when you learn it for the first time and you actually are open and receptive to implementing it within your life. And then I think the second point is when you actually begin to understand and actually begin to practice it. And there isn't that gap between what you know and what you don't know anymore. Like everything kind of just comes together. And I think I'm getting to that point with detachment. And I'll provide a few examples, of course, too. But detachment is interesting because, as you all know, I'm a big fan of Michael Singer, Untethered Soul, and he talks about not attaching to your emotions, your negative emotions, and how we should really just be observers of the things that we're feeling and the voices in our heads and things of that nature. And I think that I've been able to bring an awareness to my negative emotions to where I'm able to do that. And now I'm starting to realize and recognize that it's not just with the negative emotions that you have to detach from, but you also have to detach from positive things too. And not detach in the sense that you don't, like you're not receptive to them or you don't care when they happen, but I think sometimes if you're too attached to positive outcomes or for things to go your way or for things to be right, it then turns into a preference. And sometimes those preferences can become a prison. And I made a video on my Instagram a couple of days ago where I posted about like how I'm just starting to learn, like in my interactions and my relationships with people, like not even romantically, it could be platonically or anything, but I just spoke on how I would meet people, and if I really liked them or if I really liked someone, you know, romantically or otherwise, I would just really try to hold on to it, and I would really want them to stay, and I would try to force moments, and I would try to keep moments going on longer than they needed to be. Like, for example, let's say that I have a night out and I end up going somewhere and I end up meeting a really cool group of people or a really cool person. It's like I wouldn't want that conversation to end. I'm making up scenarios in my head about my future with them, or when I'm going to see them next and all the things that we're going to do. And it's just like you just met this person. And I think sometimes it could come on like a little bit strong, not a little bit, a lot. And I'm just starting to recognize that even with good interactions and with positive feelings, that I have to keep my attachment in check, and that I still should be sitting from an observer standpoint, because negative and positive are both needed and they both operate like within this reality, within this universe. But again, if you get too attached to positive things, if you get too attached with needing the feeling of good things happening, then it's like you're always going to be looking for that, and you're always going to be disappointed when certain things don't go your way or when things aren't up to your standard or your preference. And that's basically what I was getting to in that video. And like I said, it's true. Like I would meet people and I would just experience things, or I would be a part of things, and I would get so excited that I don't want to say ruin the moment because that's not true, but I would just, again, just not know how to let go. And I hope that I'm able to like explain this well enough to where whoever's watching this, whoever clicked on this video can relate. But that's really what it was. I just would not be able to let go of certain things and certain experiences and certain people. And when they would end, I would get sad or I would get depressed, or I would try to recreate it, try to have it happen again. And that's not a good feeling. And it might not be in the negative way that a negative experience makes me feel, but it really almost is the same outcome. It's like when you're experiencing these things, that disappointment feels kind of the same. It's just on one other end of the pendulum. It's like swinging either way, when really I don't want to say strive to be in the middle, but where I should just be content with wherever it swings, even if it stays in the middle. So that's something that I've been thinking about, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think detachment is very different and very difficult for someone who has like an anxious attachment style. And I don't even know if like, I mean, shit, I'm guessing that's what I have. And it's weird to say it out loud because these are thoughts that I really tend to keep private and things that I don't really talk about or discuss because it feels embarrassing. Maybe that's a tangent for, no, I'll get into it now. Like it feels a little bit embarrassing to say that you have a anxious attachment style, like in a world where being nonchalant is praised. And I know that it's, people are starting to come out and saying different things and we need the yearners back and we need people who care back. And I fully get that. But I still do think that being nonchalant and being able to detach from things easily and not care, I really do think that's still kind of like the popular disposition with people of certain ages, certainly with people of my age. So to say that you have like an anxious attachment style, or to say that you hold on to things, that when you really like people, you really like people, it can come off weird in certain ways. And maybe that's how I've come off to people before. I don't know. I don't want to think for other people or even dive into that. But yeah, it's something that I really refrain from speaking on because again, it feels embarrassing. And I'm very new to this journey too, when it comes to letting things be and like letting moments be what they are. But that awareness piece is what's so crucial because I became aware, like I said the other day, I made a video on it, but I've been becoming increasingly aware of just how much I like people and experiences. And like, if I have fun or if I do something fun or if I experience something like really cool, again, I really want that moment to last. And I kind of fight things and I force things, and it's not really going with life. It's kind of fighting and forcing things on the opposite end of that spectrum too, which would be, wanting to push away negative experiences and wanting to not think about them or not wanting bad things to happen. And it's like, well, you need the bad with the good and you need the good with the bad, and the good can't last forever, and you can't get too caught up on the good because then you're just going to like I said, set yourself up for disappointment. So yeah, you guys, that's just really something that I'm noticing. I'm able to be aware of it. And someone asked me on my video too, like, well, how do you, like, what techniques have you used and how do you kind of get over it? And I told them I've really just like been breathing through it and sitting through my awareness. Like if I feel myself getting excited, like if I'm talking to someone or if I'm meeting someone and I feel myself getting too excited, or I feel myself like, starting to like, I don't think that I'm putting it in the right words because I'm not saying that I don't want to be excited, but you know what I mean? Like too excited, like you don't want the moment to end. And it's just like, you're holding on to it. And it's like, you have to let go. But I told them that I like to breathe, I'll focus on my breathing. I've been doing a lot of breath work recently. And also I just sit in the feelings, and I don't identify with the feelings of being too excited. Like if I feel that, I'm just like, okay, like I'm noticing that there's a feeling of excitement happening. And if I'm the one that's noticing it, then that means that I'm observing it. And that means that I don't have to identify with it. So that's just kind of like the anchor that I've been holding on to recently. And it's helped. It's helped me, have good moments with people and have good experiences to where I'm able to say like, you know what, that was cool. Like that was dope. And like, leave it at that, leave it for what it is, and not think that, every experience, not try to duplicate every good experience that I have over and over, and not try to make things seem like bigger than what they are. And y'all, I apologize for like how I'm stuttering. I'm getting frustrated with myself. I apologize for how I'm stuttering, but I've noticed too, when I tend to talk about vulnerable things, my voice gets a little bit more shaky and I start to crack a little and I start to stutter. And this is probably the most that I've stuttered in one video, and I'm still going to post it, but that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm talking in front of the camera and talking about these vulnerable subjects and being open about certain things, because again, I want to be able to articulate and explain myself and explain what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling in a way that's well received by many people. So this is practice. So although this is very embarrassing, and although I feel like my heart is on my sleeve, this is for a good reason, and I know that I'll be okay. But yeah, that's just where I'm at with detachment. And I think I'm going to need to do a deeper dive into where this all stems from and where it all started. And I've kind of mentally gone back through my life and to my teenage years and to my childhood, and I've kind of felt reasons why. And I've kind of thought back on certain situations and have understood that maybe that's what's led to like why I'm so attached to certain things and not attached to other things. But yeah, it's a process, and I'm excited to, I just lied. I'm not excited. I am not excited. Oh my gosh. Like, let me be clear, like going through a personal development or like a spiritual journey is not, it's exciting only because you know that you can change at any moment. So it's not exciting in a way where it's like, yes, I want to do this every day. I want to feel this every day. I want to feel my emotions, and I want to go back through my past and dig through all the things that hurt me and release them and let them go. Like, I'm not at the point where doing stuff like this feels good. I'll say that, but I'm at the point where I'm mature enough in my journey to recognize that it's necessary and recognize that this is like the jump off point where I'm able to like go in any direction that I want to go. And that's the thing that's exciting. That's the beautiful thing about it. So yes, we have some work to do. And by we, I mean me. And we're going to do it. So thank you guys for watching. I'm low-key yapping right now. I know that's the point of the video, but yeah, I'm excited in the way that I just said to kind of dive deeper into this and kind of understand the root of where this is all coming from. That way, for future friendships and experiences and relationships, I'm able to open up and not have a wall up or not try to hold on tightly to where I'm controlling every little thing. So this is going to be good. And if you made it this far in the video, I would genuinely love to hear your opinion on the topic of detachment, on, you know, if you feel like sharing on how you feel about attaching to certain things and detaching to certain things, and, you know, why you feel like you attach to some things and not others, and why you feel like it's easy for you to detach to some things and not others. Like, we can really have a discussion about it, because this is something that I think a lot of people experience and go through, like this kind of tension and this contrast between like what they're attaching to and what they're detaching from. But again, it's really not talked about, because who wants to be seen as like clingy and attached, or who wants to be seen on the other end of the spectrum, who wants to be seen as somebody who's too far detached and who doesn't, you know, really hold on to anything to the point where it just feels like everyone thinks that they're just disposable to them, you know? So there's two ends of the spectrum, and I would love to hear where you fall. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and for listening and for liking and commenting and subscribing and for being open and receptive to like my awkwardness and me stumbling and falling. Like, I'm gonna get better, and I'm happy that I'm still gonna upload this video, and we're at 80 days now of uploading every single day without a break. And it's been a beautiful journey, and I've had a lot of like really cool experiences with that too. So yeah, thanks for watching, you guys, and I'll see you at the next video. I have a surprise for the next one. It's gonna be really good. So I'll see you at the next video. Bye.